Hey, what's up guys? I'm Mr. Chris with Infotainment.com. Today we have an upgrade for our 2011 to 2016 body F-250 here. It's going to be a remote start upgrade. This upgrade also works on your 2011 to 2014 F-150. It's a pretty simple upgrade, so let's get into the details. All right, before I get into the install, we're gonna go over a few basic requirements that you need to have on your truck. One is you're gonna need at least 2 keys that start the vehicle to program the new keys in the kit. You'll also need registration or proof of ownership to get those keys cut by us. So we're gonna send you out a complete plug and play DIY install. You don't have to go to the dealer. You'll get those keys shipped to you, pre-cut. All you have to do is programming, which I'll show you how to do in the vehicle. You'll also need to make sure that your vehicle has keyless entry, as this won't work if you don't have keyless entry, and you'll have to check if you have a hood pin pre-installed on your vehicle. Most of these trucks come pre-wired. Not all of them come with the hood pin pre-installed. So we'll leave the part number for that hood pin in the description of the video and on the product page. All right, so where you're gonna wanna check under the hood is on the driver's side, behind your driver's side headlight. Right here is your hood pin. If you don't have one, you won't have this here, but most of these trucks come with the wire already there. So as long as you have that wire, you're good to go. Order the hood pin, plug it in, and the rest of the install or parts that you need for the install will be included with the kit that we send you. All right, so since we verified that our truck has a hood pin pre-installed, the next step I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the antenna. This antenna line will plug into here, and it'll plug into your TPMS module. Now, a lot of these trucks have the TPMS module behind the glove box. If that's the case for you, basically what you're gonna wanna do, drop the glove box, you'll pull your stuff out. You'll push the side of the glove box in and drop it down. This little rubber thing here, if you find this on the ground, it comes from the side of the glove box. These have a tendency to fall out when you pull this out. But basically, right here would be a TPMS module that the other end of that wire would plug into. Ours on our truck is not located in here, so we can't install it in here. Ours is actually up in the driver's side headliner area. But if yours was in here, you would basically plug it into the box, zip tie your wires up against all these other wires up in here, and there's a mounting location that actually lines up with these holes up here that you can just throw a couple of zip ties right around to secure that in place. All this is for is to extend the range. The remote start will work without this being plugged in. So if you did the whole install and you just wanted to test it before you install the antenna, make sure it works, you can do that. But for our truck, I'm gonna move over to the driver's side headliner area and we'll get that all pulled down so we can get this installed. All right, so our TPS module is right up in this area, kind of around here. So to access that, I have to pull the sun visor as well as the A-pillar. And I'm gonna drop this upper console just to make it easier for you guys to see. You don't necessarily have to do this. Once you pull these two, you should be able to pull your headliner down just enough to plug that antenna line in up there. If you were interested in seeing how your upper console comes off, it's really easy actually. Just want to grip it. There's just some clips that hold it on. Unplug the 2 plugs that are connected to it. And then right up in here, you have 2 Phillips screws. And you want to pull those 2 out. And then this whole piece can kind of get twisted and slid out of there. And like I said, you don't have to pull this, but it does help to drop down the headliner just a little bit more when you're getting your arm up in there. All right, and as for the sun visor, you have 3 T20 torque screws holding this on. You can pop this off and spin it over to gain access. You can actually unplug this so it's not in your way, but it doesn't have to come off. You can just let it hang here because when you start to pull down your headliner, you'll see in a second, it's not gonna come down anywhere near as far as this will. All right, and then for the inside one, you got another T20 Torx. And we'll set that aside. And then for the A-pillar, kind of squeeze this to get it off. If it's a little tight, you can use your panel tool. And inside here is two 7mm screws. So I'll loosen those up. And these are actually attached with a retainer on the backside. So when you're unscrewing it, it won't come all the way out. And that actually helps it when you're putting it back in, makes it a little easier. All right, now I'm ready to pull weather stripping down a little bit. And you can see I can pull my headliner down quite a bit. You can actually see our TPMS module right up in there, and you can see that gray plug that's not used, that gray port on there. That's the one that we're gonna be plugging into. All right, so our antenna actually comes with a strip of 3M double-sided tape. So since we're mounting this up in the headliner area, I'm gonna attach this 3M tape to our antenna, and I'm gonna route this antenna over to the center upper console, your sunglass area, and I'm gonna stick it to the roof kind of in the center of the vehicle. This way, hopefully it'll get a pretty even range from all angles of the truck when we're hitting our remotes. So you're not gonna really be able to see what I'm doing up in there because my arm's gonna be blocking. But I will add the tape to it. Now I'll plug this in. All right, and then I'll run the antenna over the center of the roof area. I'll double-sided tape that antenna right to the center there. Now, if you look at our panel here, we have quite a bit of space right in this area. So this is not going to interfere with anything. And for the rest of the wires, I'll go ahead and zip tie that up with the factory wires, and we'll be good to go. All right, now that our antenna is installed, I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall all the panels that I removed earlier. Okay, now for the last piece, we'll reinstall our A-pillar. And we can press our weather stripping back into place. All right, now we're ready to program our two new keys as well as run our Genie programmer. All right, now we're ready to program our two new keys. As you can see, the keys are a little different because they have the remote start button on there, as well as on the back side they actually have the remote start details on how to activate and deactivate the remote start. And you can also see that we have these keys pre-cut, and you're going to get these pre-cut as long as you supply us with the information that we need. So pretty easy step to program these. This is why you need two keys originally before you program these. They don't have to be two key fobs, as long as it's a key that starts the vehicle. So if it's just a regular blank key or a valet key, as long as it starts the vehicle and you have two of them, you'll be able to program your new key fobs. So the way you do that is you stick your original key into the ignition, you turn it on, you wait about 3 seconds, turn it off, pull it out, you grab your other factory original key, you do the same thing for about 3 seconds. Then you grab your new key and you'll hear the locks lock and unlock, and that's indicating that this key fob is now programmed as well as the key is now programmed to the vehicle. So when I hit that, you'll see that that works. And I'll go ahead and start it up. And you see it starts the vehicle. Now to program the second key, same process. Stick the key, the original key in the ignition, wait for about 3 seconds. Stick your second original key and wait for about 3 seconds. And lastly, the new key. And we get that confirmation, lock, unlock, and we know this key is now good to go as well. All right, so the final step to get this vehicle to remote start is running our OBD Genie programmer. So we'll do that now. All right, to run our Genie programmer, we're just gonna make sure that we turn the ignition to the on or run position. And now we can plug our Genie in. When the lights light up, we'll just wait for that green light saying that our Genie has worked successfully. And that's all it takes, and we're done and programmed. All right, so now that the install is all wrapped up, we'll go ahead and make sure our hood is shut, and we'll hit the activation sequence with lock and remote start twice. Truck starts up. To shut it off, you're going to want to hit the remote start button once, and that shuts the truck off. All right, so that wraps up this install. It's a pretty easy upgrade, especially for the do-it-yourselfer, especially having the keys pre-cut for you. That saves a huge step from having to go to the dealer and deal with all that mess. So make sure to check the product page for all the details on this upgrade. And if you like this upgrade and you want to see more, make sure to head back to infotainment.com. Thanks for watching.